H.E.R, it is so nice to meet you.
Oh, it's nice to meet you. I'm happy to be here.
We were talking off, behind the scenes, off the air. I've learned a couple of things about you. You're not a Game of Thrones person.
Yeah, I'm around a bunch of Game of Thrones people, and I would be, but I just feel like there's so many seasons. I'm like super behind, and
it's a lot.
It's just so much to catch up on.
You got so much going on. Why start?
I'm very busy, right?
Imagine going back to season 1. Ugh, forget it. one thing I love about you, and we'll get into all this stuff, but I love the fact that you are so kind of mysterious in a way, which I think was sort of by design.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that stuff. I
Thank you.
Can't get enough of it. When you first signed, I find this crazy, although I think it should be done like this more often. When you first signed and released your first track way back in the day, you had no Instagram followers, no Twitter. You had no Instagram at that point, right?
Right, yeah.
Do you find that wild that, that's doing the opposite of that is kind of the norm now?
I guess so. I actually got signed when I was 14 years old, and then I released my first project when I was 18 years old, and in 2016. And I think I just wanted people to focus on the music, the idea of having just a silhouette on the front. Like nobody had any idea who I was, how old I was, or anything, so all they had to listen to was the music. And my name is having everything revealed because everything is revealed in the music.
Congrats, a couple of months late, these 2 Grammys.
Yes.
I mean, good Lord.
It still feels fresh.
Will it ever get old?
No.
Probably not, right?
No.
Where do you keep these things at? Are they're physical trophies you have?
They are physical trophies. I actually just received them like a few days ago, like the actual engraved trophy. So, I got to get a custom display case for it, something that looks, amazing. And, I'm going to have like something I can, undust it with every single day, and then maybe like a little light, shining on them right when you walk into my apartment and you see them.
Maybe have like a little soundtrack of angels singing when you walk, like there's the Grammys. Ah. By the way, one thing I found so cool is when you're, I'm sure everybody's seen this clip. If not, I'll describe it. You're on stage to win the best R&B album. And one of the things you say is, it's not even it's an EP.
Yeah, they're 2 EPs combined.
Which let me know for sure that I truly, even though I've been doing this for a minute, I clearly don't know the true definition
of an album. Right.
What is an album versus an EP? Or is there a definition?
I don't even know if there's really a definition. For me, it was just like the first project that kind of represented a specific time, like a specific period of time. And it's only 7 songs. I think an album is more than 7 songs. And it's, I don't know, maybe more representative of a long period of time. I'm not sure. I'm still trying to figure it out.
Here's what I think it is at this point. I think it is what the artist says it is.
Right.
Because you could picture a 9-song EP probably, right?
Right.
Thriller was 9 songs, which is one of my favorites of all time. So
you know what it is? I think too. My first project was just an introduction to me and only a piece of me. It's not the whole piece. It's not all of me. So I think that's kind of what the album is going to be. It's going to be all of me.
When you're coming up with this name, because it's what you're going to be known by, H.E.R. What other names were you? Because I'm picturing what I was going through in radio. Like, what am I going to call myself? Is it going to be Jojo? You go through some names you like, names you don't. What names did you toss out, and then why did you eventually end up on H.E.R?
I didn't toss out any names.
Really?
No, not at all. It wasn't like who am I going to be? Like it was. I just wanted people to focus on the music. I wanted to name my EP H.E.R. I knew I wanted that for a long time. But I finally made the decision that I didn't want my name on it. I just wanted to be H.E.R. I said, I'm never going to be this girl that falls for this guy. I never wanted to be this girl that, goes through this heartbreak and all this stuff, make the same mistakes as, some of the mistakes I've seen my older sisters, like the people I'm with all the time, people I've seen growing up, the things that they go through. I said, I'll never be that girl. And then I became H.E.R. I became that girl. And I think everybody deals with that. When you're becoming a young woman, you deal with life and heartbreak and transitions in life, and that's what that represented. So I decided, why not just be H.E.R?
H.E.R, give me, let's talk album. And once again, we're not talking about the album that you won Best R&B at the Grammys. That was technically, like you said, EP. This is your official debut album, which is, to my understanding, in the works. Fill me in. Where are we at on this thing?
Where are we? I'm always creating when I have the time, so I'm just finding the time to really complete the album. I think the meat of the album is there. Got to think of, what I really want it to be. But, just I'm booked and busy right now. So I'm just trying to find the time to finish it.
I bet. Here's my guess, because it seems like, if I'm reading you correctly, being the fact that you're always writing, you're always creating, you're on the road, you probably have a mic on the bus, or maybe not a bus, but in the hotel. I mean,
it's voice
notes on your phones,
yeah.
all that stuff. No matter when you think the album's done, that's when the perfect song is going to hit. It's just always right.
Yeah,
I mean,
the final listing is not even going to be. It's not going to be it until the album is actually out. Anything goes until the release date.
We're talking 20.
Anything goes.
Sometime this year, you think?
Yeah, absolutely. This year.
You having a good time so far?
I am.
All right, I got a question I got to ask you. I ask everybody this. I've heard some pretty wild stories. Have you ever made a noticeable? Everybody makes mistakes on stage, H.E.R, but have you ever made a noticeable on-stage mistake to the point where the audience went, "Oh God, that wasn't supposed to happen"?
Yikes. You know what? I'm really fast on my feet on stage. So if there was a mistake, I think we've always been able to recover really fast. Like one time the Pro Tools kept going out, right? So you have, you're like the track along with the band, with the extra stuff that you lay, on the keys, the guitar with drum loops and stuff along with the band. And that went out, right? So it's not as full when the Pro Tools track is not there. And everybody was like, just cut the show. This was towards kind of the beginning of the show on my very first tour, actually. But and the track would stop halfway, and then I would say, okay, let's do it again, let's try this again. Everybody's cheering, and it stopped again. So when it stopped, I said, we're just gonna go straight live for the rest of the show. And everybody was like, stop the show. I was like, nope, we're musicians, we're just gonna do it live. And we did, and it was great. So it was all good. We recovered. Has
it happened since then, the Pro Tools?
Nope. That's why you have two computers. Where when one stops working, then you use the next one.
Did you see the shock look on my face when you said that? Because I've had that happen during interviews where I see the screen moving and all of a sudden it'll stop and it's panic mode, dude. My God.
But you got to just be professional. Do what you do.
You seem like a live artist that really wouldn't. I would picture you doing just exactly what you did.
Oh, yeah.
So consider that a massive compliment. Anyway.
Thank you.
H.E.R is hanging out. Hard Place.
Yes.
Let's do this track. Tell me everything I need to know.
Hard Place. Let's see. Well, this song, I appreciate this song because everybody can find, something about the song that they like or can connect to, right? Lyrically, it's very universal. I think we've all been torn between somebody else and yourself, or torn between a situation, being in a situation, being out of the situation. But lyrically, all people of all ages can relate. And there's pieces of R&B. It's definitely R&B at the core. It might be a little bit nostalgic to people with a drum loop, but there's acoustic guitar. It's very singer-songwriter. But, when you see me perform it live, it's electric. It's, it's kind of a rock and country vibe at the same time. And I have a choir. And I just think Hard Place is one of those songs that feels really good to whoever's listening to it. And yeah, this is me. This is the ultimate song that represents me.
Is this song, no names required, but is it about a specific person or situation?
I wouldn't say specific. I think it's kind of pieces of situations.
Has anyone ever come up to you and asked, is that song about me?
Right. Yeah.
I
try to avoid confrontation.
I've been dying to ask you about two encounters you've had.
Okay.
I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan.
Yes.
Michael Jackson tattoo.
Wow.
I've met him once back in the day. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But tell me about your meeting Michael Jackson story.
So I didn't meet him in person, per se. I was 10 or 11 years old. I was 11 years old. And I was in LA and I met Rodney Jerkins. I had been going to his studio with somebody that I met in Los Angeles, just being an 11-year-old. And we were, talking in the studio, and then we left. We had to leave, and we drove to the corner of this. There was a hill right at the studio, and at the end of the hill, there's a stoplight. We stopped, and we see Rodney Jerkins running down the hill.
I know, right?
Right, and he doesn't, seem like the type of person to be, running the streets like that. So
he's too cool for that.
Right. So he's running down the street with a phone in his hand. It's a flip phone, and he gets down to the hill, and we're like, "Why is he running?" He's like, "Somebody wants to talk to you." So I take the phone, and I'm like, "Hello?" And it was Michael Jackson. And he said, "Oh, I think you're so talented. I would love to meet you. And, play music and whatever. And I was stunned. I couldn't believe my mom was in the car. She was crying. Like, she was like, oh my God, like, it's Michael Jackson. Like, we didn't know what to do. And he was inviting us to go to his house in Las Vegas and all this stuff. But he passed away months after that, actually. On my 12th birthday. Well, days before my 12th birthday. So, yeah, it was crazy.
Oh,
it was insane.
Mm-hmm. I met Michael Jackson once at Neverland, and
wow,
we were hosting this event, a charity event, and they brought a cake on stage, and we started singing "Happy Birthday" to Michael, and he passes a little handful of cake to somebody in the audience, and then a cake fight started between him and Nick Carter and Aaron Carter.
Oh my gosh!
One thing, short version of the story, he spins around, and there he is looking at me, my hero MJ. There he is looking at me, and before he throws cake at me, he pauses because he doesn't. Should I throw cake at this guy? I don't know what to do. I said, God, I sound stupid. I said, hit me, Michael.
What?
And he said, are you sure? I'm like, yeah. And he rails me with cake. So I'm covered in cake.
What?
Then they take him off to the main house, and I ended up, cleaning up at one of the guest houses at Neverland, and my wife was in the audience crying too, just like your mom.
Gosh.
It was just like. It
wow.
sounds like I'm making this up, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's crazy.
But I'm not. Oh, my God. I am.
That's crazy.
You guys, H.E.R is hanging out. All right, meeting Janet Jackson.
Yes.
By the way, she came in however long ago it was, and she brought your name up.
No way.
She said you're one of the artists that she just really just loved as far as current artists, so whatever that's worth. I should have pulled that clip up, but I didn't. I'm a bad person.
It's okay. But, she told me in person, so it's okay.
Yeah, which is what I want to ask you about. What you met her, to my understanding, backstage at one of your shows.
Yeah,
right?
she came to my show in London.
Wow.
This was like March, and oh my gosh, she's like this crazy, she's Janet. She walks into a room and everybody's like, okay, act natural, and then we all like just being weird. And I was cool about it, I was like, it's just Janet, Anyway, she walked in and everybody's like acting weird. But when we cleared the room, we had our one-on-one time, and I told her my Michael story, and yeah, and she said, I love your music. And apparently she was singing every single word when she saw me perform.
Wow.
So yeah, that's crazy honor.
And when you were on stage, did you get, I'm not sure where she was seated at. Sometimes it's hard to see past a certain...
The balcony. Yeah. A little bit.
So you did see her.
Yeah, but I was so in the zone. I was like, if I look at her, I'm going to freeze up. So I had to just be in my zone.
God, to be performing and look in the audience and see Janet Jackson reciting every word back.
Crazy.
That's pretty damn cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I think you've made it. How does it feel, H.E.R, not only to have these Grammys and everything else you got going on, but to be on the 2018 list of Barack Obama's favorite songs? One of your tracks, I believe it was Could Have Been?
Yes.
When you find
Insane.
this out, what?
You feel like, okay, I can quit music now. Barack Obama listens, and that's it. Like, I made it. No, I was really excited. That was unbelievable, to be honest. He has really good taste.
Apparently he does, right? Did you ever have any communication with him, or that was pretty much...
No,
yeah.
But his daughters, I got to meet his daughters. They came to my show at Broccoli Fest in D.C.
And what was that like?
Insane. Like, it's kind of crazy. Like, you're, your dad is Barack Obama. Like, it's crazy.
They probably didn't think, oh, yes, my dad. You're like,
right,
no, your
exactly.
dad is. Oh, my God.
Exactly.
You've tried somewhat successfully to be somewhat anonymous throughout all this, letting the music speak for itself. And I think it's worked pretty well. I love the mystery of the whole thing.
Thank you.
However, are you okay with, as time goes on, more and more things leak on, the real you? Is it tough to, or do you want it to leak, or are you okay with people knowing a little bit more than you initially planned, if that is in fact happening?
To be honest with you, from the beginning, I expected organically for people to see me more. In the beginning, you didn't see anything until I went on tour. Nobody knew anything. Like, I didn't wear glasses. You just didn't see me at all. Nobody knew what I looked like or how old I was or anything. So gradually, for the past 3 years, you start to see more of me. Even just in the past year, you start to see a little bit more of me. But, you find that I am who I am in the music, just right. Like, it's just an extension. There's no like real me. Hers not like the alter ego, but it's the true me, So when I have everything revealed in my music, when you see my stage show, that you really see who I am, and I guess my personal life is like something I'm not going to be able to hide all the time, but I'm pretty low key. I'm pretty private already. That's just my personality, and I think that's why the mystery thing is a thing, because I'm just like, you don't see me in a club, you don't see me at parties or anything. I'm pretty low key all the time, and I'm like a homebody. And when I'm not a homebody, I'm at my favorite restaurant, or I'm in Brooklyn looking at artwork, or I'm doing chill stuff like that. So yeah, it's a gradual thing.
Have you ever, whether it be just sort of have you ever tried to use some level of disguise?
You want to know what's funny? My disguise is like my hair being pulled back and not wearing any glasses, like just kind of hiding in plain sight. Because people know me with, like my big hair and my glasses. So if I walk around with glasses on, then you're like, wait, I think that's her. But if I don't have any glasses on, you don't think it's me, because it's
crazy, right?
Yeah,
that's similar to what Janet said. I said, how do you because you can't walk anywhere as Janet, and she's like, well, the main, first of all, she said she has to know kind of where she's going,
right?
Places that
that's exactly
she's familiar.
Mm-hmm.
And then she said, if she really tries to be too undercover in the big glass, and
that's drawing attention to yourself.
It's like you might as well have a flashing neon sign like Janet, or this is her, So
right.
All right, so I'll leave it at that. I love your mystery. I love the whole thing. You follow on your Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff. You follow nobody.
Nope.
What does that mean?
I'm not really, social media. I try to keep up, but I just like to focus on the music. I think a lot of artists, well, not a lot of artists, but some people in general, I think we all do this. We compare our lives. We tend to get caught up in what's going on, that we, kind of get lost in this fake reality. And, I think it's a way for me to stay focused, and stay on my own path and not compare or whatever. Just me.
Hard Place, of course, the track that's been out. Of course, EPs all over the place. You got a couple of EPs floating around. Album later on this year.
Yes.
So look out for that. You met Michael Jackson, one of my heroes. Janet Jackson, you met her. What am I missing here?
You're not missing anything, but I'm just excited to be here with you and to have talked to you. And when I have a ghost story, I'll let you know.
There we go. Her at the end of every interview, fist bump to make it official.
All right,
Give
cool.
her a little bam.
All right.